Hello, and welcome back to the High IQ Genius podcast. I'm your host, Robert Kayan, and knowledge is power. Now, first of all, let me start off by saying Happy New Year. 2024 is behind us, and 2025 is ahead. For all those people that have subscribed, we have, I think, 100 subscribers to the channel now. Thank you so much. I'm truly inspired that we've reached the 100 subscriber milestone, and I want to thank each and every one of you. If this is your first time to my channel, the High IQ Genius podcast is designed for everyone. And we will be having some other people on the podcast that are members of Mensa, as I am, and also Intertel. More on that in the mid part of January. Now, we just got back from the Whitehouse, where me and my wife enjoyed an amazing Christmas celebration as a guest at the White House. And we've posted a lot of pictures on our Facebook and our LinkedIn pages. So if you'd like, feel free to visit those. And in fact, we did do some short videos of the White House visit on this channel. But I got to tell you something. I'm amazed at the amount of people that have subscribed to the channel. Our goal was to help one person at a time. And we seem to be doing that in a lot larger capacity than I planned. So let's talk about the upcoming new year and what you can expect from the High IQ Genius podcast. Number one, we're going to be, we were featured in the Mensa Bulletin, which was pretty cool because that sort of highlighted what we're doing in this podcast to over 50,000 Mensa members. And we expect that we'll have a number of those people as guests on the podcast. But I do want to be clear. This podcast is for the 99% of all other people that are not necessarily a part of a high IQ society or club, and people that want to get some benefit or gain some knowledge from my experience and others. Now, I do want to also say that 99% of all of the feedback that I have received has been positive. And I'm inspired, and I do read the comments. Now, occasionally, I've received a negative comment or two. Now, I just want to be clear. Generally speaking, when I get a negative comment, I don't reply. I don't engage with those people. I typically just delete and block them. And the reason I do that is not because I'm against free speech. I'm all for free speech. But what I found is that in the absence of facts, some people will result to insults. And that's not what this channel is for. Listen, the internet is got billions of other resources available if people want a negative experience. That's not what this channel was designed for. So when I hear somebody or see a comment that is negative, I just simply delete and block them. Typically, they're somebody that is posting anonymously. They don't post a picture. Typically, they're hiding behind some kind of facade. And that's generally the type of troll that will negatively try to impact the channel. Usually they're people of below average intelligence. And as I said before, typically in the absence of something intelligent to say, some people will result in insults. And, listen, let's talk about that for a minute. I think we've all been insulted from time to time in our life. I mean, I certainly have. I mean, I remember a time when someone called me a jerk. And I think I surprised them with my response because I said, listen, I'm certainly, it wasn't my intention to make you feel that way. And if you could simply articulate what I did or said or my actions that made you feel that way, then perhaps I can correct it or improve on it. And I got an interesting response. They said, well, you're just being a jerk. And I said, I understand your point of view. And if you'll allow me the opportunity to correct that by articulating what I said or my action, then perhaps I can improve and go forward without making you feel this way. And something interesting happened. They did not articulate anything because it wasn't anything that I said. It was how they perceived me as a person. And let's face it, we're not going to please all of the people all of the time. There will be people in our lives that we cross paths with that simply don't like the way we comb our hair. But I think my point is this. Going forward, if by some chance I miss a negative comment, I want to offer a reward for any of our subscribers that finds a negative comment before I do. Now, if you find a negative comment before I do and you report it to me, I will give you a special shout out in my next podcast. And doesn't matter how many people report on my behalf, I would appreciate the subscribers who are here for a positive experience to sort of help me isolate any negative comments or commentary or feedback. Now, listen, I don't mind a joke or two. I'm not talking about simple, banter back and forth. What I'm talking about is somebody that is clearly hiding behind what probably is a fake profile, and they're insulting or calling names or using profanity or just talking nonsense. The High IQ Genius podcast is so that we can have an intelligent conversation about topics that are relevant and matter. And that's why I'm passionate about that. Now, let's talk about subscribers for a moment, too. If you subscribe to the channel, it helps the channel. It doesn't change my life, but it does help the algorithm, and it helps us reach more people. Now, when that happens, I, of course, get more motivated. Now, I haven't done a video in about 3 weeks now, where we've been busy, during the holidays, but I'd like to do more videos. And if I get more positive feedback, then I'm likely to do more podcasts. So back to the Whitehouse. We will be going back to the Whitehouse on January 14th. We celebrated Christmas there, and it was really an amazing experience. The White House, for a lot of people, is the most historic place in our country. And listen, the White House invitation and experience was not politically motivated. I think everyone, given the opportunity to visit our nation's capital and or the White House, should take it upon themselves to do that. Regardless of what side of the political divide you're on, you cannot influence anyone or anything with just your opinion unless it's received by someone that can take action. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So we'll be going back to the White House on the 14th of January. We will be meeting with some of the people there that we met prior. And I'll certainly give you an update with both pictures and videos on the outcome when we return. Now, let's talk about you. This channel really is about you. Although I will from time to time share my credentials with you, I only do that so that you understand what credentials I have that support my position and having this podcast. But the podcast is really about you. And so what I'd like you to do going forward is, if you have a particular topic that you'd like me to cover, just leave it in the comments below. If there's anything that you find interesting, then feel free to comment in the comments section, and I will read the comments, and I will use those comments to improve the podcast and the content so that each and every person that subscribes is getting the most from the podcast, and you feel that your time is valued and that the experience is worth the investment of time that you've put into it. So listen, if you're a new subscriber, please take a moment, if you would, if you feel that you're getting some valuable information, and subscribe to the channel. If you just watch it and you don't subscribe and you enjoy the content, that's certainly okay as well. And if you're already a subscriber and you have some particular topics that you'd like me to cover, just make sure that you comment below, and I will certainly take that into consideration. And two things just to wrap it up. If you do see a negative comment from somebody, and typically I delete and block them, and I also report them to YouTube within about a day. If I miss one and you report it to me, I will reward you with a shout out on the podcast by name if you'd like. If you don't want to be mentioned, that's fine. But it'll help us as a group keep this to be a positive, motivational, informative, and educative experience. And we'll leave the negative aspect of the internet to the anonymous trolls that are trapped in their basement somewhere in their mother's house, hiding behind some type of fake facade. And they think that because they're anonymous, that they have the right or the freedom to insult others. So, Happy New Year. 2025 is going to be an awesome year. I want to thank you all for joining me. Be happy. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. And, remember this, knowledge is power. And this podcast is designed to help further you in your life and making all of your goals and dreams come true. And, at the end of the day, it's you against the world, and I'm betting on you. I'm Robert Kahan. This is the High IQ Genius Podcast, and I look forward to your comments, and I look forward to speaking with you again after we get back from our next visit on January 14th at the White House.